Hi, I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot. Welcome back to another 10 Talk Tuesday. Today I want to talk about living the quiet life, living the life of not a monk, but living quietly with yourself and accepting your own company and rejoicing in your own company. It's coming up right after this. Hi, welcome back. So how many of you enjoy being on your own? I'm a bit of an introvert, although it doesn't seem that way. I like my home. I like being by myself. Even when my fiance is in the house, we tend to, one of us sits in the lounge and one of us lies in the bedroom. We do spend a lot of time together, but I think it's very, very important to also have your own time, your own downtime, and your own time to be quiet. Whether that means watching your own favorite Korean love story on a series on YouTube, or whether it means sitting reading a book, or whether it means just sitting staring into space with a glass of wine. That is what I mean by living the quiet life. We are at an age, or especially myself, I'm 51 years old. So for me, going clubbing and going pubbing, I don't drink. I'm a bit too old to go and sort of shake it up to Nicki Minaj in the clubs. Um, I feel very uncomfortable doing that because my days of doing that are over. I did all that in the 80s. So for me, staying at home, drinking really good coffee, watching, at the moment we're watching Pretty Little Liars. Okay, yes, I know I'm like way behind, but I've only just discovered it. And for me, that is kind of living the quiet life. I don't have to go partying. I don't have to go out every single Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I don't have to do that. I don't have to feel that I need to surround myself with tons of people so that I can feel better about myself, so that I can kind of drown out that feeling of loneliness, which I had before I got engaged. Before I met my partner, I was incredibly lonely, and yet I had tons of friends. I was incredibly social. But now I'm not. Now I live a quiet life. I have my job and I have one or two close friends. I have my fiance and I have my little dog. And I have a beautiful home that I love being in. You know, so many times we buy homes, we renovate our houses, we renovate our apartments. If you live in a digs, you know, we renovate our rooms, we put beautiful things up. And then we spend like 5% of our life in there. And the other 90% of the time is divided between work and partying outside our living space. Living the quiet life doesn't mean that you have to suddenly become Hare Krishna and start chanting. It doesn't mean that you have to suddenly start doing yoga. It doesn't mean that you have to meditate for 2 hours a day. Those are all amazing things. Please don't get me wrong. So many people do that, and so many people find that that works for them. It doesn't work for me. I've tried meditation. Let me tell you something. I can recommend meditation to all of you. It's flippin' awesome, but it didn't work for me. I think because my mind is so active, I find it incredibly difficult to bring myself down into that sort of meditative state. I have done a whole video on meditation where, you know, meditation doesn't have to be sitting and chanting and that sort of thing. But for me, living the quiet life is about looking at where you are right now at this very moment and appreciating it. Take some time to be by yourself. I'll guarantee you that you will learn a lot about yourself. You'll learn kind of whether you can stay alone for extended periods of time. You will learn whether you have to constantly get other people's approval for what you do. You'll learn if you are constantly giving out to other people and not getting stuff back. I know this sounds pretty weird, but just living a quiet life. And I'm not saying that you have to do this forever. I'm not saying retreat and become an introvert and a hermit. What I am saying is you need to take time out for yourself. If you can't live a quiet life, live a quiet day, or live a quiet couple of hours every day, even once a week. Take time out for yourself. Take yourself out of the basic day-to-day rut. Take 3 hours or 2 hours once a week, and instead of going shopping with your husband or with your wife and taking the kids to sort of hockey or soccer practice, take those 2 hours on your own. Get your husband or your wife to take the kids, Okay, you do it one weekend, they do it another weekend. Go to a coffee shop on your own. Take a book. Take your tablet with you or your cell phone, okay, and just park off. Go somewhere that is really lekker, where you can maybe park off, have a cup of coffee, maybe just chill on your, even on your laptop, although that kind of gets a bit dodgy because you'll end up answering emails from work. But just go somewhere that you can be quiet with yourself, and for those 2 hours, live a quiet life. Get to the point where for those 2 hours, you say to yourself, okay, these are my 2 hours for me. I cannot answer that email immediately. I don't have to, as that email comes through, I don't have to answer it immediately. I can answer it after my 2 hours. And I will guarantee you, you will become a better person. You'll become a less stressed person, and you'll have something to look forward to every second week if you want to do that. I know it's hard, especially if you've got a family. And I know a lot of people have so many commitments, but you need to make a small space in your life, in your hectic life, to live a quiet life, to accept time with yourself. Don't have your husband come with it. This is not about having a family picnic, okay? This is not about going to the movies with the family. This is about you having a quiet time with yourself. A lot of people, this can translate into a lot of people having, you can extend it. You can extend it to actually become a lifestyle. It is very difficult, but you can do that. You can bring your lifestyle level down. I'm not saying suddenly become a minimalist. I knew I was going to do that. It's not about being a minimalist. It's not about giving all your stuff to a charity and sort of like backpacking around Europe, or God forbid, sort of becoming a sort of Tibetan monk and going to live in the Himalayas. It's not about that, people. It's about living a quieter life, living a quiet life. You don't need 120 friends. Choose a couple of really close friends. You don't need to party every single weekend, maybe once a month. Bring your life in a little bit, especially if you are someone that is kind of my age, someone who is kind of older, okay? If you're in your 20s, of course, you're going to want to sow your wild oats, you want to go and jaw, you want to go and party, you want to go and kind of rave it up. But I think when you get to a certain age, I think that it is really nice to bring yourself and your lifestyle in a little. Does that make sense? It kind of makes sense to me. I don't know. That bringing it in, sort of not cocooning yourself completely, but just living quieter. And it can be done, as I said to you, to start off with, take 2 hours a week and just go off by yourself, or even, as I say, every second week. And then just try and extend that incorporate it into your daily life, incorporate it into your family life. For instance, one of the things I always say to people is when you get an email, you do not have to answer that email immediately on your phone while you're sitting at a picnic with your children. It doesn't have to be like that. The whole world and your whole company is not going to crash down and become insolvent, and your life is going to spiral out of control if you let that email wait for 2 hours or even a day. You see, often that sort of thing is not expected of you. People don't expect you to immediately respond, but we do it because this is how our society has become. Everything is instant. It's now, now, now. Take some time to live a quiet life, or take some time to create a space within your life, within your hectic lifestyle, to live that quiet life. As I said, even if it's 2 hours a week. Think about this. Comment down below and tell me what you could do, what you can do, even if it's just one thing that you can do right now to pull yourself in and to live a quieter life. I'm Matt from Tubby Terror, and I will see you next Tuesday for some more 10 Talk.